Thank you, Ken. You actually didn't tell me I only had a few words. So I actually have a few pages of words. If anybody has to like nod off or get some food, feel free here. I'm kind of excited about extending this celebration and recognition for Ghazi and Roxana beyond tonight's event. Some of you were part of our community walk last Saturday, which is near and dear to Ghazi's heart and to Roxana's. They've been part of it from the very beginning. And so to celebrate there, to have this wonderful gathering of friends and colleagues here tonight, and then to look forward to the event of the bench dedication on Friday. That's terrific. Good job, Ken. Thank you. And thanks to the Moscow Human Rights Commission, the Lake County Human Rights Task Force, and all of those people who've been part of this, those who've contributed to this very fitting recognition for our longtime friends. So Dr. S.M. Ghazi Ghazivar and Roxana Ghazivar are community treasures. Sadly, they're about to depart their long-loved home in Moscow for the Atlanta area to be nearer their children and grandchildren. And tonight we've gathered to bid them a proper farewell. We in Moscow have a strong sense of belonging and attachment and have come to think of them, Ghazi and Roxana, as ours. But the reality is that we share them with others around the world who love them too. I was comforted to hear Ghazi announce just before last Saturday's community walk in front of Tom Hansen's microphone and everyone that he intends to return every year. And now we have more witnesses, Ghazi. Okay. Originally from pre-division India, what is now Pakistan, Ghazi arrived on the Palouse in 1958 to attend Washington State University. He earned an undergraduate degree in honors in the business administration in 1962 and a master's of economics in 1964. He returned briefly to Pakistan, where he and Roxana were married in 1965, and then back to the Palouse for just a year, he told her, where they established their home together and where Ghazi earned his PhD in economics in 1969. He served as a professor of economics at the University of Idaho from 1968 to 2002, including as department chair from 1979 to 81 and from 1993 until 2001. He also directed the International Studies program from 1989 until 1993. He retired in 2002 after more than 40 years on the faculty and was named Professor Emeritus. Am I right so far, Ghazi? Close? All right. I've known the Ghazivars for more than 30 years. I first met them in my role as Nurse Nancy over in Pullman, and I suspect each one of us in this room knows bits and pieces that comprise their extraordinarily full lives here, and in many ways they have influenced our lives in turn. The extent of the Ghazivars' engagement cannot be confined by the bounds of the campus or the city limits or the county limits. The ripple effects of their efforts may be felt globally as ideas and human compassion spread through the university's worldwide outreach, the immediacy of digital communications, and the far-reaching professional and personal relationships that they have mentored. They've mentored many who have fostered those over the many years they've been here. Ghazi's outreach cannot be overstated, and his service and leadership are not limited by sector, whether academic, political, cultural, or any other dividing factor. He co-founded Lake County Human Rights Task Force in 1987 and has been an active member of the city's Human Rights Commission since its inception in 2004. His achievements in service and leadership include the following. There are many more besides. Just a few, Ghazi. He's written more than 150 articles and 4 books. He earned 19 alumni awards for faculty excellence. The University of Idaho President's Alumni Award for Lifetime Contributions in 2003. Inaugural co-recipient of the Ismat and Manan Sheikh Community Unity Award from the City of Moscow in 2006. He received the WSU Distinguished Alumnus Award in 2007, was inducted to the WSU Hall of Honor in 2007. He earned the Martin Luther King Distinguished Service Award from the University of Idaho in 2007. He has been a champion of human rights to bring awareness, to offer education, and to invite dialogue about pressing issues of our time involving us versus them, isolationism, LGBT issues, racial, cultural, and religious issues, Native Americans, immigration, bullying and violence, disabilities, accessibility, and more. He's a recipient of a peer-nominated Service to Commission Award presented by me for meritorious service to Moscow Human Rights Commission in 2008. He is recognized for the unique honor of having a classroom in Albertson Hall at the University of Idaho dedicated as Ghazi's Place, funded almost by $100,000 with contributions by former students. Ghazi is truly a citizen of the world. He exemplifies the concept of global good citizenship, championed by the City of Moscow and the University of Idaho as their ideal of service learning. In the 2007 interview about being inspired by so many students over the years on the subject of what is truly meaningful in life, Ghazi was quoted as saying, "I am personally so much better off for all of that. And there is no conceivable way to tangibly measure the worth of all of those connections. They touch the soul, they nurture the spirit, and they give meaning to life, and there is no substitute, none whatsoever," he said. And speaking of meaning in one's life, Ghazi describes his wife, Roxana, as the love of his life. She earned 2 bachelor's degrees in psychology, one from Pakistan and another at WSU. And she had to take her final exam a little early to deliver their first baby, Farah, who arrived a week before finals in 1968. The Ghazipar's second baby, Asif, arrived while Roxana was working on her master's in guidance and counseling, which she earned in 1971. With a growing family, Roxana focused on raising their children and volunteered for a number of local organizations. She was a member of the International Faculty Wives, host to numerous international students and scholars, a great advocate for education at all levels. The Ghazipars welcomed their 3rd child, Kashif, got it? Okay, after returning from sabbatical in Pakistan and have continued to make their home in Moscow all of these years, despite Ghazi's expectation in 1965 that they'd only be staying 1 year. Anybody else know that story? Even as they anticipate moving to Atlanta, their influence in Moscow will probably stay here forever. Last December, Roxana suffered a serious injury in a car accident which caused them to stay in Moscow a little longer than they might have done otherwise. Happily, she is making a good recovery and is well on her way to being able to keep up with those grandchildren who are such important parts of their lives. Roxana and Ghazi, we are glad for the excitement in your future, even as we grieve your departure from our daily lives here on the Palouse. Wherever you are, you will live in our hearts and continue to inspire us and our greater community. So on behalf of the City of Moscow and all of us here, fittingly in our community center, this evening we wish you happiness, health, and continued inspiration to extend the community walk all the way to Atlanta and beyond. Thank you.